Hello folks, welcome to El Canal del Channel Jose. Today we're gonna give you a video about how to give a visual inspection on your timing belt on your Toyota 1.5 engine. And for that you don't have to remove the valve cover to get this plastic off, which is covering the timing belt and the pulley. So we're going to just show you how to remove this cover so you can get to the timing belt and have a visual inspection, and then that way you get an idea how bad or if it's still healthy timing belt. And with that said, we're gonna show you a couple steps. First, I remove this vacuum system, which is held down by a 12mm bolt, and once we get this a little bit out of the way, we can have access to the 10mm bolts that are holding the plastic cover that covers the timing belt, so that way we can give an inspection point. So with that said, let's get started. So four bolts, which are 10mm, and one 12mm bolt that holds down this vacuum little system into the motor mount. We'll get that out of the way and we'll uncover this and we'll show you the process to put it back on. And we have to remove this 12mm bolt that is holding this vacuum system into the motor mount. We'll take that off and move the system out of the way so we can have access to the other bolts. So now that we have removed our vacuum system out of the way to expose the bottom bolt and the back of the engine, we can remove all four bolts, which are 10mm, and that way to get this plastic piece off. And like I was saying, we have to remove the vacuum pieces out of the way so that way we can access the bottom bolt, which is right here. And then once we have exposed that, we're going to use a smaller ratchet and a smaller socket for that to remove it, because our 3/8 drive won't get to that one. So now that we have removed all of our four bolts that hold our plastic cover into the head, we can pull it from the bottom a little bit, push it down a little bit, and work this area out, because these are like arms or bends that hold the timing belt cover. So we can kind of push it towards the back and then start working it out. And that way you can remove the timing belt cover like this. So there's four bolts that we were saying, two on this side and the two on this side. And that's how the timing belt and the pulley look like without taking the valve cover off to get to it and do an inspection. What we're looking for here, folks, is three things, main things. Is if there's any teeth or any pieces missing, that'll be one. So we look at it, the timing belt, it looks pretty uniform. There's no pieces missing as what we can see. All of it is there, it's in one piece. Another thing that we're looking for is slack. If it's not tight, we're looking for that as well. But this one looks pretty tight, so we are okay. It's not being stretched. That's really important, because that way the cam can move and there's play in this one below, so the cam below is not following as this one is doing. So when you accelerate, one cam will pull a little bit more, just a small gap, and that will affect the timing. So that's why we want to have a tight timing belt. And once we talk about the teeth and the slack, another thing that we want to look into it is how is it look from the outside. The outside can show you if there's any cracks, any splits or low points, and if that's happening, it's time to replace it. A timing belt is usually replaced about 100,000 miles average, and that's why you want to do a visual inspection before that to see how bad it is. And this timing belt looks pretty good. There's no cracks, no splits, and when that starts showing, that's a really dangerous point, because what happens, that split can go all the way through, and then that's where it snaps because it's exposed to heat, it's absorbing the heat from the camshaft and the bottom shaft, and so the heat is always here because it's covered, so the heat is always surrounding the timing belt. That's why it's really dangerous to have a bad timing belt in there, because they dry out, especially when they're made out of rubber. They dry out, and that's when they snap. So you want to do a visual inspection on your timing belt, and we're looking for a few things. Like I said, the tooth, if there's any low points, or if there's any missing, if there's any cracks inside as well. This one looks good. We're looking for the slack, and we're looking for cracks outside, and how if there's any low points or high points on this. If there's anything that tells you, okay, this is not looking good, you want to take care of that before it snaps, and then it makes a bigger problem. And we're going to show you that without the cover, we can run this engine right now and it won't damage or do anything. All it is that this cover is here to protect the timing belt from getting any contaminants or any dust or anything from falling between this, like a bolt. If anything will fall right in here, it will damage the timing belt, and it wouldn't be a good thing. That's why it's covered, so nothing gets in between the gears, so it doesn't damage or it doesn't make a spacer. So that's why it's covered. So let's show you how it works without that timing cover. Now we're going to turn on the engine, and we'll let you see how this timing belt works on the pulley without the cover on. So this is just to show you, and this is for the purpose of showing you how this timing belt spins in the pulley. This is I don't recommend you having a pulley exposed in your daily car. You might see it in sports cars and things like that, but that's cars that you don't drive in the street often like a daily driver. This is the cover is there for a reason, and if you don't have it in there, you might have some problems if something falls right in there, or this timing belt starts becoming dirty, and that's not a good thing. So I'm just showing you the purpose of what the timing belt is on the pulley and how it spins. As you can see, that's the speed up and slow down. So wanted to show you that. So now that we have inspected our timing belt, everything looks good, we're gonna put the cover back on. And then remember, don't drop anything in there, because then you're gonna be digging that out, and if you can't, you're gonna have to take apart half of the bottom piece just to get the bolt or nut or whatever dropped in there, because that will get right between this and it's gonna damage the teeth and the timing belt. You don't want that. So now to put our timing belt cover on, what we do is we put this part in first in an angle like this, and then we slide it forward towards the engine, and then we gotta pull out the bottom piece a little bit and then push down so it gets into these grooves. And then once you work it into these grooves, you push it up, and then we start putting our bolts in to hold it down. Tightening all 4 bolts, everything's good, so we tighten it down. Now we can put our vacuum system back into the motor mount and bolted it down with a 12mm bolt that it had. So we'll do that. And folks, we only use a 3/8 drive. I use this Milwaukee. I recommend to buy one or get one. This is really useful tool because it makes the job really easier and is rechargeable. This is a 3/8 drive. They make the 1/4-inch drive as well. So I use this one. I recommend it. And then we use an extension, a 6-inch extension, to get to the bolt and the vacuum side and the motor mount to reach into it. And with that, we use a 10mm 3/8 socket and a 12mm 3/8 socket as well. And that's for the bolts that are for the vacuum and for the valve cover and for the timing belt cover. And we use a small ratchet with a small socket, 1/4-inch drive, to get to the bottom bolt on the timing belt cover. So you don't need a lot of tools. You just need a full hand, and that's all you need. And this inspection is gonna give you an idea, and it might save you a headache and a lot of money. If you do this and you catch that timing belt is in bad shape, you can start getting ready to replace it and not get caught where it snaps, and now you gotta replace an engine that is gonna cost you thousands of dollars to replace. And hope you find this info useful in this video towards your new project. And we'll see you soon with more videos here en el canal de Chano Jose.